Hi, this is Browns beat writer Nate Ulrich from the Akron Beacon-Journal alongside Steve Doerschuk, the Browns beat writer from the Canton Repository, and we are here at First Energy Stadium following another Browns loss, fourth in a row, this time to the high-powered Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to go three and out. We're going to have three topics. Our first one is going to be a question from Twitter, and then we're going to do a couple of topics off the top of our heads. The first one is going to be from Matt C. on Twitter, at MCGolf83. Asks, who is the starting left tackle for the rest of the season, Steve? And that question is relevant because undrafted rookie Desmond Harrison was inactive today. He missed Friday's practice with an illness. In steps Greg Robinson. Baker Mayfield was pretty encouraged with Greg Robinson and gave him a couple shout-outs in his post-game news conference. What is your take on that?
Well, there's no doubt about it. If you want to look at it a certain way, and I look at it this way, Baker Mayfield threw Desmond Harrison under the bus, and it was a bus under which Desmond Harrison deserved to be thrown, or the people playing Desmond Harrison deserved to be thrown because he just wasn't getting the job done on any important level. And here, Greg Robinson, a former number 2 overall draft pick, comes in, and it's not really surprising to hear that the quarterback whose life he helped save today notice the difference in an experienced super high draft pick versus a somewhat immature undrafted rookie.
Of course, Greg Robinson is a bust as a second overall pick, but has started all but 4 games, I think 48 of 52 games in his career heading into this season. And then he was a guy who appeared in the first 8 games with the Browns without a start. Having said that, you know, the expectations are so high as a second overall pick. He can still be a serviceable player without living up to those expectations, is my point. So I say bust, but he still might be the best that the Browns have, and certainly early returns are better than Desmond Harrison at this point. Let's get into the next topic, Steve. You mentioned the people who played Desmond Harrison. Hugh Jackson, gone. Todd Haley, gone. Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens in. Your quick impressions of the first game under Williams and Kitchens.
I mostly look at it from the perspective of watching Williams and being able to observe Williams on a day-to-day basis because he has to present himself to the public every day. Nate, early in the week, Williams, who has this blustery, strident personality, I thought was very nervous. In his opening press conference, he's going like this, back and forth. He's talking the way Greg Williams talks, the way we're used to hearing Greg Williams talk, but you could see the nervousness dripping off his chin right onto the table in front of the captain's seat there. But today, when I was observing him, and I made it a point to watch him very closely throughout the game, I thought that he had regained a sense of calm, and in terms of having poise, had that end of it mastered. Now, the actual game played out poorly. You'll talk about this maybe. The game looked like a blowout to you, you've said, and it looked like and felt like a blowout to me. And that's on Williams somehow, some way. If he's going to be a candidate to be the long-term head coach of this team, he has to be more competitive in a game even against a team of this magnitude.
Yeah, 37-21. Some people have argued on Twitter that's not a blowout, but the Chiefs scored touchdowns on 5 of their first 6 possessions. The only one in that group that wasn't a touchdown was late in the first half when they were basically running out of time. And Patrick Mahomes threw an interception when he's trying to create something. But the Chiefs thoroughly dominated this. For Freddie Kitchens, this was his first time calling plays in the regular season at any level. And I will say that Baker Mayfield was really positive and energized and encouraged about Freddie Kitchens and the communication that they had leading up to this game and in the game and the involvement of Duke Johnson. And I felt like Baker Mayfield was saying, hey, I wasn't crazy about how things were going under Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson. And here comes Freddie, not experienced at all, but I much prefer what he was doing. That lends us to just a little more analysis on Baker Mayfield. Steve, here we are a little bit past the midway point of his rookie season. Where are you at with Baker Mayfield?
Undecided. Nate, we were talking, of course, before we went on the pod here about where Mayfield stands and just how much needs to be invested in him in terms of getting the whole organization and the future coaching staff behind him. And my thought on that is, yes, that's got to be a top priority, getting everybody invested behind Mayfield. But the next regime, whether it's Williams, unlikely, or some other regime, the next regime is going to have to be better than just getting a #1 overall pick ready to play, because I'm only about 70 to 80% sold that Baker Mayfield is the answer. And I think some of his inaccuracy and his height are factors that are really important, weighing into the thought that, he's not guaranteed by any means. So I think Mayfield, I like his toughness and his resiliency. The resiliency is followed all the way through the end of today's game, I think, but there's enough to worry about.
There is, I think, the key, it's almost like the chicken and the egg. What comes first? Mayfield succeeding or getting a head coach or an offensive coordinator who's totally in sync with him and really truly does things to cater to him. And also John Dorsey surrounding him with weapons. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, as good as he is, look at the weapons he has. Now, the encouraging thing, if you're a Browns fan, is that John Dorsey had a big hand in getting a lot of those weapons to the Chiefs when he was their GM.
Yeah, amen to that. Dorsey basically drafted or acquired the nucleus of the Chiefs roster, and to me, this isn't a Baker Mayfield production. To me, it's a John Dorsey production. So you either believe in Dorsey or not. At this point, I'm more sold on Dorsey, let's say, than I am on his #1 pick, Mayfield.
Demarius Randall, the defensive back for the Browns, he was inactive today. He's battling a groin injury. Greg Williams said he was not a healthy scratch. But anyway, I talked to Demarius on Friday, and with all these changes going on and all this chaos, he said, in Dorsey we trust. So that popped in my head when you said that, and the Browns certainly hope that Dorsey rewards that trust. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.